Hey, what's up guys, it's Athieno, and today's video I'm going to be explaining a little bit on how I almost went pro in Rainbow Six, kind of give you guys my backstory of how my comp experience was, how I got into it, and my future with comp. So it all started a few years ago. I was grinding ranked for during the time, building up my game sense and just kind of like my reputation in general. Like I was like nobody. I didn't have a lot of followers. I didn't really stream too much yet. But I got most of my knowing. Like people knew me from just playing and ranked a lot. They played me a lot too. So it started about like March 2021 is when I really started to get into comp. I made the decision that I would step down from content. I thought I would have to do that, but that was kind of a big mistake of mine. Kind of a newbie mistake of me to do, because I still ended up doing content. But what I really did is I was in the position as a lot of you guys, like wanting to start comp. Not a lot of people know who you are. So what I did, nobody knew who I was in the comp community. Maybe because they knew my content, but my content wasn't really even that big back then. So I just I followed a ton of T3 and T4 comp players. So basically what that means is like anybody that's playing publicly, like playing comp for fun, but it's like the most public league. You don't have to qualify, you just play, right? So I recommend that if you want to be in comp, I would go use a Twitter. I would use Twitter over Discord nowadays. I think comp teams in Discord are all just like friends just messing around. If you want to find serious people, they're going to be on Twitter. They're the ones competing and stuff. But once I kind of found my people a little bit, so my ranked friend, he picked me up and we made a team together. So what we did was we played Go Fours, basically they're like Sunday tournaments. Anybody can play in them for like pub matches, right? But we played like a few T3 matches too, small tournaments that anybody can play. You don't have to qualify or anything. It doesn't take any skill to do it. During that, about 3 months later, I turned 18. So my birthday is on May 27th. I started in March, right? So 3 months later, now I can compete in Challenger League qualifiers. So if you don't know what Challenger League is, it's basically the league before Pro League. So I qualified for that with my team. And the thing was, I honestly did not even think I was going to be making it. But I mean, I had the intention of like, oh, if I want to get to Pro League, I have to get to Challenger League. But we play the qualifiers. I'm like, all right, I'll give it my best shot. We'll try. We want to win this. Actually, wait, I'm capping, dude. No, literally, I knew actually what Challenger League was a little bit more. Me and my team were like, bro, nobody else besides us deserves to win it more. Everybody else was just like some washed up pro or maybe like some Make-A-Wish team just putting it together, be like, oh yeah, let's play for fun. Like, nah, bro, we wanted to get in.
What did he say?
Oh shit, here we go again.
And you know what we did? We steamrolled every single team we went up against. 7-2, 7-3 was the worst score we had. 7-3, bro. We steamrolled people, and we just cruised our way through the qualifiers, and then we made it close, right? So then we had the relegation match where we would go up against the bottom Challenger League team in the current season. So we ended up beating them. And after when I made Challenger League, people kind of knew me as like he's the content creator, playing Challenger League quals, and just like, oh, we got lucky, we didn't deserve it. People were saying that kind of stuff. It was kind of entertaining. So I got a lot of respect from the competitive community. So that was pretty good on my part. So what we ended up doing, I didn't mention that we were actually a part of a smaller org. But then another org got us, which was Outlast Gaming, which you guys know what we competed in CL for. We actually ended up changing up our team a little bit more too. So what we ended up doing was we 2 of our players stepped down because they just felt like they didn't want to play. So we got 2 new people, which was what was it? It was Jewel and Nomad. You guys might remember them, but they're the OGs of my stack now into Challenger League. So once we picked up those new people, then those are the people that went to Challenger League, and like we were just like so happy. We were kind of like the underdogs. We're the underdogs of the team, of like the stage. So it was pretty fun. So our first stage in the Challenger League was it wasn't very good. Like I said, guys, the thing is, what made our team so strong was our vibes. We worked so well together. But a lot of us were pretty inexperienced. It was all of our first time playing in a T2 level. So we got stomped on by other like ex-Challenger League teams that played in the stage before us. We kind of lacked a little bit of experience, but eventually, we picked it up a little bit more here and there. So yeah, our first stage wasn't that bad. People kind of expected it because we were kind of the underdog team. If we ever won against a team, it was considered really good. But we had a lot of upsets. We actually ended up beating the best teams in the league or in our bracket and lost to the worst teams. It was a little weird, like inconsistent, but it was kind of how it was. But yes, like I said, guys, during this time, I dialed back my content a lot. I wasn't streaming as much. I was still like uploading like 3-4 times a week and streaming almost every day. Maybe like 3 times a week at minimum, but like I was still like, I didn't just completely give up on my content because I couldn't do that. Wasn't what I wanted to do. But during this time of us, we're in the league, we're considered T2 players. I actually scrimmed a lot of pro league teams, especially in NA. Like I've scrimmed TSM, I've scrimmed SSG, East Coast, Mirage. We almost got a Dark Zero scrim, but our schedule, which is another problem, was our schedules, including mine, because I was actually working at the boba shop. So like, you guys have to remember, like, even though, yeah, we are like semi-pro gamers, but we all still have lives, and we saw that some of us had to pay bills still. Like I had people who were like, above 20 years old. So they had to pay and stuff, I'm telling you guys, it's so humbling when you face up against pro players, bro. Guys, you guys don't understand, comp and ranked are totally different games, bro. Like you feel the pressure of like SSG, like they know how to drone, bro. They know how to drone, bro. And like it was very hard to go up against people like that. So we're still like in the stage, but then once the stage ended, so like a season ended, right? One of our players stepped down, and which was Genesis. So our entry stepped down because his mental health wasn't the best, and also one of our teammates kind of drove him away. So if you guys know the situation already, I'll still explain it. But so okay, so the core is like we have 4 people, right? And we need to replace the entry. We have like a month or 2 to do it, guys. We tried out 4 different people. That they weren't just random people, bro. We actually like took time to bring them out. They showed their talents. Me, Nomad, and Jewel all worked really well with all of those guys except for one person, and he drove away all 4 of those players. So it was like, what's the problem there? So after that, we decided to like, okay, we need to drop this guy and pick up 2 different people. So then he was like, oh yeah, I knew you guys were gonna do that, but no, like he had a very big ego. He was an alright team. He was an okay teammate, he was fun to be with after scrims, but like in the comp scene, he was just not good to be around. So yeah, basically we tried out literally 4 different people, and we were like, okay, bro, we gotta drop you, man. It's just, you're scaring off like coaches, you're scaring off new players, and you're just not working well with us anymore. So like, we need to drop you. But in his eyes, he was like, oh, I made this team, stuff like that. It was just, it's 2 different perspectives that like, there's no one's really right. It was 2 different perspectives. Like everyone wants to stay in the league. So we're like, hey, sorry, we gotta drop you, man. He's like, okay, I understand. Like, but the thing was, he had the license to our spot in CL. So the problem was, he's like, oh yeah, I'll do it. But then we parted ways, and we never heard from him again. And he took the license with him. He has the right to do that because he had the license, and we didn't think he would do that like to us. But kind of snanked our spot, which he has full rights to do. But it's just a very asshole thing to do. Very dick move to fuck us all over like that and take the spot for himself and build his own team, So that was kind of like a problem, and the whole community knew about it. It was just a big old mess, and people were mostly siding with us, but it was kind of fucked what happened. But eventually, so we just had to do the hard part, which was get into CL back. So me, Nomad, and Jewel picked up Traw and Wes. We actually had Twist and Traw first, but then we eventually ended up going with Woos and Traw, which they're both in CL right now, I still think so. And we just made through Challenger League again. So I qualified for Challenger League twice with my team, which was a pain, but we did it. And then we actually had a pretty good stage at the beginning. But like towards like the second stage, like I think we were like almost like number 2 on the board. So basically, eventually, me and that team split up, and then I just went to content, and then they just kind of stuck with their team, and then, which was pretty recent. So eventually, that team, they picked up another person to replace me, but they got relegated, which was a little bit not too long ago. And then I was like, yeah, maybe I'll go back to comp later, just when the time is right. but just not for now. And now, as you see, like I'm just doing full content. But that's basically kind of like the story of like the Challenger League and stuff like that. What I'm planning on doing now is just I'll just play FPL and then kind of go from there, just to keep the mechanics sharp and stuff like that. And you know, if I want to play comp, sure, I'll go for it. But right now, I'm just kind of taking a backpedal and mostly on my content. People always ask like, oh, you're gonna come back, stuff like that. I think the opportunity window is probably like a few years. Like everybody knows, like a pro careers, like, you know, people see it like past people, like it's kind of on and off. But I just think content is way more stable as well, and I enjoy it a lot more. That's basically kind of the story of it. And I think I hit most of the points.